Pascagoula resident Frederick Marvin Michaels, Jr. They called him Freddie, a young man with a bright smile and a passion for music, 19 years old and already making a name for himself in the local music scene. Freddie was a regular fixture at the old Roadway Inn on East Highway 90. He played the drums, sometimes filling in for Harold Hudson's band. Harold saw something special in Freddie, a raw talent, a natural performer. But fate, it seemed, had other plans for Freddie Michaels. The year was 1975. The humid Mississippi air crackled with the promise of summer storms. Inside the Roadway Inn, the lights were low, the music loud. It was a Friday night, and the bar was buzzing with locals blowing off steam. Little did anyone know, this night would end in tragedy, a tragedy that would remain unsolved for decades. The band played on, an assortment of songs filling the smoky air. Freddie would be playing his drums on stage that night. But before he went on, he was looking for someone, a friend named Tony. Borrowing Harold's car, he ventured out into the night. When he returned, Tony was nowhere to be seen, but Freddie, he didn't seem too bothered. He was never one to let anything get him down. He struck up a conversation with a group at a nearby table. A blonde lady, her laughter ringing out above the music, caught his eye. She was with two men. Harold, watching from the stage, couldn't help but notice them. One, younger with a build like a linebacker. The other, older, his arms covered in tattoos, seemed agitated, tight, as Harold would later describe to police.
Freddie, it appeared, had a plan. He was going to meet up with the blonde later. Harold offered him a ride home, but Freddie just grinned and shook his head. Around 1:40 in the morning, the barmaid, Carol, saw him leave. He wasn't with the blonde this time. A brunette, her face stained with tears, walked beside him. They disappeared into the night, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. Freddie left his belongings behind at the bar, his sunglasses, his pack of cigarettes, his lighter. It was as if he planned to return, but something, or someone, stopped him. The hours that followed his departure were shrouded in darkness. No one seemed to know where he went or who he was with. His disappearance wouldn't raise alarm bells until later, much later. Dawn broke, casting a pale light on a horrifying discovery. A motorist driving along Old 63 spotted something lying by the side of the road. It was the body of a young man. Life had been brutally extinguished. The man was lying 300 feet from Johnson Grocery, a landmark in those parts. News traveled fast in a small town. It wasn't long before word reached Harold Hudson. A sinking feeling settled in his gut. He knew. He just knew. The victim was Freddie Michaels. At first, everyone assumed it was a hit and run, a tragic accident. A young man walking along a dark road struck down in his prime, but something about the scene didn't sit right with the first responders. The investigation was about to take a shocking turn.
Unraveling the Truth Trooper Mike Bryant's investigation. Trooper Mike Bryant, a seasoned officer with a reputation for thoroughness, arrived at the scene. He surveyed the area, noting every detail, the position of the body, the lack of skid marks, the absence of debris. Something wasn't adding up. This wasn't a simple hit and run. This was murder. The official autopsy report confirmed Trooper Bryant's suspicions. Freddie Michaels hadn't been hit by a car. He had been brutally beaten. The cause of death was blunt force trauma. Someone had used a heavy object to inflict fatal injuries. The investigation shifted into high gear. Trooper Bryant was determined to find Freddie's killer. The murder weapon, a brutal end. The medical examiner's report was chilling. Freddie had been struck in the head with a blunt object. The force of the blows was significant, causing massive head trauma. It was a brutal personal attack. This wasn't a random act of violence. Freddie Michaels knew his killer. Trooper Bryant worked tirelessly, interviewing witnesses, chasing down leads. He revisited the Roadway Inn, questioning patrons and staff. He pieced together a timeline of Freddie's last hours, but the puzzle remained incomplete. The murder weapon was never found. The blonde woman and her companions disappeared. The trail ran cold.
Whispers and rumors. The search for answers. The small town buzzed with speculation. Who would want Freddie Michaels dead? He was a good kid, everyone agreed. Talented, friendly, full of life. Theories swirled. Had Freddie stumbled upon something he shouldn't have? Was his death connected to the mysterious blonde and her companions? Rumors spread like wildfire. Some whispered about a drug deal gone wrong. Others spoke of a jealous lover, but nothing concrete emerged. The truth, it seemed, was buried deep, along with Freddie Michael's.
Justice seems denied, the case runs cold. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, months into years. The investigation stalled, leads dried up, witnesses clammed up, their memories fading. Freddie's murder became another unsolved case, filed away in a dusty cabinet. Another statistic. Another name on a long list of victims denied justice. But for those who knew and loved Freddie, the pain remained fresh. The unanswered questions lingered. The thought of his killer walking free was unbearable. They clung to the hope that one day someone would come forward with the missing piece of the puzzle, someone who could finally bring Freddie's killer to justice.
A life cut short. Freddie's legacy. Frederick Marvin Michaels, Jr. A life cut short. A talent silenced. His memory lived on in the hearts of those who loved him. In the music he played, the laughter he shared, the mark he left on their lives. His story, though tragic, served as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope flickers. The hope that one day, the truth will out. The murder of Freddie Michaels remains unsolved to this day, but the case is not closed. The police haven't given up hope, and neither have those who loved Freddie. They believe that someone, somewhere, holds the key to unlocking the mystery of that fateful night in 1975. They wait and they hope for the day when justice will finally be served. If you have any information about this case, please message me in Facebook Messenger. In the meantime, please stay safe and have a great day.